Welcome to this Arsenal Bangalore post-match discussion of the match Arsenal versus Norwich, where Arsenal won 4-0. Comfortable win across both the halves, and a couple of mistakes from the Norwich defense that allowed us to win fairly comfortable. So, Jomi, positives from the match from your side.
I mean, amazing game. I think Vivek said a couple of games back that second half Arteta tries to slow down a bit. I think very similar. I mean, a lot of positives, as in a good workout for the team. Clean sheet, which is amazing. 4 goals, awesome. But you have a team that's not doing that great in Premier League. That's only takeaway or on the downside. Um, we need to show that skill against top teams, but I'm not complaining. Having said that, I'm not complaining. This is a game that we want to see um, every week in, week out, or every match. And no complaints. I mean, what a introduction, right, to the right back. I don't think there's any other way to introduce yourself. A lot of jokes been said about him. I think this is the best way to silence a lot of people. In all, I'm a happy Gona.
This reminded me of like 4 5 years back when we used to easily beat the mid-table teams and easily get to that comfortable 2-0 or 3-1 or games like that, right? Because we didn't seem to be keeping any wrong foots in the game today, and focus was mainly to get the win, and wherever we had to capitalize, we did capitalize. Bringing in on the goal scorers, we had Oba with two and Xhaka with one and Cedric with one. Ankur, your thoughts on the scorers today?
Extremely happy. First of all, big congratulations to Cedric. I mean, getting a goal on a debut is not easy, especially being a defender. So yeah, as Jomis said that it did silence a lot of critics. Having said that, I had said the same thing in the halftime discussion as well. I mean, I just loved the Xhaka goal. Brilliant build up to the goal. Loved the way he celebrated. Also, he seems happy. I think he has shrugged off whatever happened in the past. He was again given the armband today. So overall, very happy with Xhaka too. And come on, Oba. It has been long time incoming. We had been waiting for that 50th goal for a long time, so that also happened today. So overall, very good game. Yes, Norwich are a team which are in the bottom of the table, but we are expected to beat teams like this, right? So such kind of a performance is expected from Arsenal against a mid-table team or a bottom-table team. So yeah, overall, as Jomis said, extremely happy Gunnar.
Yeah, based on what Jomi said with regards to second halves, where Arteta starts off slowly, we did see that happen, or might be formation change from Norwich, where they were pressing and they were having good possession in our half, in the start of the second half. So, Elroy, your thoughts on basically how we started the second half and how did we end it?
It seemed like one of the regular patterns that we had, where we in the last couple of games we started off really well, but then it took. I mean, we had some luck in Oba's goal, but I think overall we were not threatened today a bit at all. Like only in the second half, maybe starting, Norwich had a couple of moments, but we were dominant today, and you could see the difference between maybe a eighth or ninth place team and the bottom place team today. Could be that Norwich also had tired legs considering they played 120 minutes against United over the weekend, but we were dominant today. It's a deserved victory, a good performance.
Yeah, we have Vivek joining us. Vivek, surprise performance by Arsenal today.
Yeah, I didn't expect such a thorough performance. At least, the commentator made it very clear that Norwich have performed below par, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And in terms of that, I don't think we could have asked much else. They had a 15-minute period in the game, 10 minutes in the second half, around about 5 to 8 minutes in the first half, where they had something going for them, but at both intervals they kind of gave away a goal that put them on the back foot. And then after the first goals on both in both halves, there was only one team really in it. Cedric, um, unlikely way for him to get everyone's attention. An absolute screamer of a hit. What Arteta said was that he's better in the final third. Very small sample size, but the three crosses that he did attempt, they definitely seem. It definitely seemed like he knew who he wanted to pick. So there's something good there. Saka got a full rest. That's great. He needed the 90-minute break. The only regret, if anything, is Oba couldn't get his hat trick. Other than that, all in all, a pretty entertaining 90 minutes for us for a change in a good way. No heart stoppers.
Yeah, looking at the crosses that were put in, right? Those three crosses, I think, were much better than any of the crosses that Bellerin has done over the past 4 or 3 games that he played. No doubts about with regards to the quality there. I think we have to evaluate him over 90 minutes on a proper game for us to even tell that he is better than Bellerin. I understand the comments just based on him playing for a few minutes here, where Norwich were tired, we were leading, and we were in good position. But there is quality, but focus would be on us to see how we can have him pair up with Pepe on the right side, similar to what Saka and Tini are doing on the left side. I think, as Vinay mentioned, we are more left focused right now. Bringing that balance onto the right side might be critical, and maybe Cedric might be the person who might be the right person to unlock that right side of us of our attack as well as our defense. So, Vinay, thoughts on the 4-0 victory from your side?
Good win. There is no doubt that this was much needed. It presents a very positive picture, right? That we won. But since we are going to keep this short, I just want to put in a little bit of a dampener on a few things because of the upcoming fixture list that we know we are going to get into, which will be the real test. Mm. The digression of Bellerin continues to worry. This was probably his easiest game that he could have contributed, and there is still no visible improvement. We all wish him well, and we really wish that he turns out to be what he was or what we were hoping for. So far, he hasn't done any such things, and I'm not going to base it just because Cedric had 5 minutes of a grand trailer entry. But let's be honest, Bellerin had close to 80 plus minutes where he couldn't do much. That's a worry. The second worry is Kolasinac. I've had my comments about him all throughout, be it on podcasts, WhatsApp, or here. Mm, he has in any formation 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, it just doesn't work. He's utterly poor in terms of his positional awareness, and if it's Mustafi, him, and Lewis, that's a recipe for disaster. Other than that, great win. Aubameyang, fastest to 50 goals for us, sixth fastest in the Premier League ever. That's a fantastic stat. That's probably the memories we are going to have of him, right? I don't want to sound that, but that's what it's going to be. He's going to leave, but he's going to leave with his head held high.
On Kolasinac' performance, right? I think I would disagree with you because he was good today. Didn't see much of Luis mainly because they didn't penetrate that much into our defense. But I think Kolasinac did a good job on protecting that side of it and moving inward towards the left as well as the center, right? So I think that was my observation there. Maybe I don't know
No,
what.
you should have checked the first 15 20 minutes of the second half. I was just sarcastically saying it in our group that how we started to play. They just did good changes. We don't even know the names of what Norwich got. And suddenly, in the first 15, 20 minutes of the second half, we were all defending deep,
Yeah,
and Kolasinac was clueless. And in this
that's
three
all of the
defense,
players, right? I would not put it at only Kola being responsible for it, but what I saw was overall from a overall game perspective. But yeah, during that phase, all the we were getting battered left,
yeah,
right, center. I would agree on that perspective.
but your defense has those 3 years, your main defenders, then I would honestly hope that he is nowhere to be seen in the next 4, 5 games. Not in those three-man
Vinay,
defense.
Vinay, just a follow-up question on this. With a player like Kolasinac, what would you do this summer? Like, would you want him as a backup left back, or would you want to cash in on him and maybe invest in another backup left back, or how would you deal with such a situation that we are in right now?
I know the question
No.
is for Vinay, but I think he will tag along with Ozil, right? So so sorry for sorry for bringing Ozil back.
No, that's true, actually true. But Elroy, frankly, he came on a Bosnian, oh no, no, he came on a free transfer. So I think it's not a loss. We should let him go. And we have to look inwards. Maybe left back is not probably a priority at the moment. But Tierney is you want to have him like literally wrap him in wool or something because he's just one injury away, kind of knowing his history. So maybe an internal left back if we have, or something like a Cedric kind of a deal, cheap and best. That's what we should. But Kolasinac, I'm so sorry. I don't see him playing for us next season.
Not even a second option.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. Any other standout performance, guys? With regards to, I know Oba's goals might have seemed like gifted towards him, and he just had just easy tap in kind of situations where the goal was open and both the situations were right to him. But still, you need to clear them and finish them off. You can't just expect to score each and every one of them, even when the goalkeeper's in front of you. Uh, your man of the matches, guys. So I would request you guys to talk about who your man of the match was. Vivek, you can go ahead.
Um, I thought so. I don't know how much of this player was mentioned, but I thought Ceballos had his Burnley game all over again. He was excellent in the first half. Faded a bit in the second, in the first 10 15 minutes, but I think that's because the entire team was under cost. But other than that, I thought he was really good. Progressed the ball well, something he failed to do against Brighton. A few nutmegs, a few dribbles, successful dribbles, a few tackles. Yeah, I mean, apart from the obvious, I think Aubameyang is going to get the official man of the match. I thought Danny Ceballos did really well.
Vinay, your man of the match.
Mute
Vinay,
Chal,
you're mute.
mute Chal.
Aubameyang, 2 goals and an assist. Um, I still reserve a lot of praise to Tierney. 4 continuous games, is it now? Touch wood, touch whatever you want to do, touch. But I hope he is fit. The next few games, he's going to be really tested. But so far, the signs have been great. He's one signing that I was very happy about. And if he stays fit, I'll be really glad to have him in our team playing left back. Man of the match, Aubameyang.
Jomi, performance on Laka. I know he didn't play much of the second half, but your thoughts on Laka?
I think it's going to be a mixed reaction from a lot of fans, right? So, um, sad to see that he didn't get a goal. I mean, I don't know if he had a lot of chances except for that cross, that head, right? The header straight into the keeper's hands. I mean, those are things that he
There
should
was
be.
one more. There was one more with Reece Nelson left footer that he could have at least got it on target.
Yeah. So, um, okay. Leaving all that aside, I mean, what I was thinking when I saw his game was he was told to do a job. Probably one of the reasons why Saka was way ahead when he scored, and he was covering up in the midfield, or at least a little away from the midfield. Uh, I kind of saw him staying a little back for a centre forward, and Aubameyang doing a lot of the runs. Now, I mean, we've always been talking about um, Lacazette having issues with fitness. He doesn't last the game. I don't know if Arteta is trying to see if he doesn't have to run around a lot. Um, you know, does that a little bit of one twos with the forwards or the wingers. So I have a mixed reaction for Laka. Would have probably seen him getting on the score sheet, but um, yeah, not a great game for him. He was very quiet, but I think he did his job.
We just, I think, ended up using all of our subs mainly to rest people out. Any of the subs that you guys thought was impactful apart from Cedric Soares? Elroy, if you want to take that.
No one had any standout moment as such that way that I can recall. They were decent, but I think one thing you can say was today at least Arteta had a better management with his staff, with his subs, considering that he made that early halftime change and then used all four slots which we get. That's the most I can say. But other than that, nothing.
I thought Willock was decent actually. For once, he looked all right. Uh, Taking the ball forward, had a few moments himself.
Had a
So
couple of chances, yeah. He did have a couple of chances that he created as well. One he snatched from Danny as well, but still he had a couple of chances. He created a couple of chances and had a couple of chances, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he had that one good shot. That was a good one. Yeah.
it was a very comfortable game. I think overall. I think the second, the third goal went in. Norwich gave up. So we could have scored a few more if we had really pushed for it, but there was no need to. So we did the right thing by not uh, pushing ourselves too much and getting a strain here and there.
Yeah, so this is one of those games, right? I mean, imagine if Norwich got that goal, right? That one shot that hit the post in the start, it was just turned completely opposite, right? It's just one of those days, it um, where things went according to you. I mean, we have a lot of those days where things go against us, and I think it started all good. My only concern with Bellerin, right? I'm going to bring Bellerin back. Right, Kirti, so probably Kirti or others. I understand that we have this problem of his crosses not coming in right and things like that. I don't know. I feel his touches are also a problem. Leave the crosses, leave the pace issues, but his crosses, his touches are terrible, and it's just um, so sad to see. And I feel so sorry for him that um, he has that idea in his mind to do those runs, but sometimes it's just uh, putting him off. So yeah, I mean, I just had to bring him back. That's the only thing I thought of from the game.
If only we could bring the old Bellerin back.
Yep, I think the injury didn't do him well, but let's see what happens over the next couple of games. Next, we're off to Wolves this weekend. It's another game. Wolves, they have been performing well this season, and hopefully, let's see how we perform. It's just that all we can say is this win is giving us a little bit of optimism, hope, and that we can turn things around for the remaining games and see if we can make something out of the season, or at least get us to a position where we know what the team is capable of and not capable enough. Any other closing thoughts, guys?
Would be interesting to see the starting 11 uh, next game. I I think the starting 11 that we see the next game, it would be safe to assume is Arteta's absolutely preferred 11. Uh, So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and maybe Oba and Laka start, or Oba and Pepe start. I don't know. So, but I would want to see Pepe, Laka, Oba start. That's
Yeah, I
what.
think away game as well. So critical for us to know how we're gonna play. Might not have the same amount of position that we had today. So those moments of us making sure that we grasp those 50-50 chances and converting those uh, uh, critical passes or chances that's been provided by either of our wing backs or any of our front three will be critical. I think that being said, I think overall a good game. Didn't see any issues with regards to most of our players. Thankfully, no one was injured today, and I think that's about it. So thanks for joining the stream, guys. Thanks for the discussions, and good night and sleep well.
Thanks,
Good night,
Casey.
guys.